Nang sa gayon ay mag-glorify kayo sa aming mga buhay as we allow your word to transform our lives and our service unto you. Kaya Panginoon, sa inyo lamang aming mong binabalik ang lahat ng papuri at pagsamba sa ngalan ng Jesus. Amen. Amen. So we are now looking at I think number 7 gift. Yung natin, no? Just to make sure, yung una ko yung prophecy. Pangalawa, service. Prophecy is in verse 6. Service, verse 7. Also in verse 7 is teaching. And then in verse 8, we have exhortation. And then also in verse 8, we have generosity. And we have, what else? Yung leading. So I think this is number 6. Okay, number 6 po is the gift of leadership. Now, mahalagang makita mo natin that when we are talking about leadership, we are not talking about a person na meron pong superiority over others. Ano? Minsan mo kasi, ganun ang understanding ng mundo na pagka ikaw ay isang pinuno o namumuno bilang isang leader, ay parang ikaw ay more superior than others. Yung po ay malayo sa katotohanan. In fact, there are people who are not leaders na magagaling mo sila. In many areas, magagaling mo sila. At yung kanilang support role sa mga leaders ay hindi mo matatawaran. Napakahalaga ho ng kanilang ginagampanan sa iglesia ng Panginoon. And therefore, they must never be overlooked. And yung kanilang mga roles must never be minimized. But must be, of course, recognized and must be taught para po magamit sa kalwalhatian ng ating Panginoon. Now, having said that, however, mahalagang makita rin mo natin na ang isang tao na meron ng gift of leadership, ang key word rito, as we look at the next slide, ang key word po rito is organizing the truth. So, the word leading means to stand before. So, you are taking the lead in following Christ. Ikaw yung nangunguna o sumusunod kay Kristo. Na napakahalaga po yan na prinsipyo. Ang isang leader ay hindi pwedeng maging leader, just to rephrase it, ang isang tao ay hindi pwedeng maging leader kung hindi siya sumusunod kay Kristo. So, leaders are followers of Christ. Okay? Primarily, they are followers of Christ. They cannot lead others to follow Christ if they themselves are not closely following the Lord Jesus Christ. So, these people are taking the lead in following Christ, knowing that people will be following you as you stand before others. You know, it's like in the area of sports, no? So kung sino man yung leader ng isang team, kinakailangan makita muna ng mga teammates niya na yung pinaka-leader ng team na yun, sumusunod siya sa coach, no? Sa coach ng team. So kapag yung leader ay hindi sumusunod sa coach ng team, ay how can that athlete expect na yung kanyang mga fellow teammates can also follow his or her lead. Ano ba? Mahalaga mo yung role yan dahil yung keyword dito is organizing the truth. So meron mo katotohanan na yun po ang isang bagay na pinakailangan maipasa sa mga kasama mo sa isang organization or sa isang living organism like the church. Pero kinakailangan po, it must be organized in such a way Ang sa gayon ay hindi yung sabog. Meron mong sistema, meron mong order. Alam natin na God is the God of order, and the God of peace, sabi ni Paul sa mga taga-Corinthians. So, sino sa inyo naglalaro ng nakakaintindi o nanonood ng volleyball? Akitas lang po kayo. Ayan, di ba? Hindi sa bisita kayo ng volleyball, di ba? Sa Pilipinas, lalo sa women's volleyball. Alam mo nyo, nung college so ako, in my senior year, nagkaroon po ako ng opportunity na maging bahagi ng coaching staff ng volleyball team sa infrastructure ng school namin. So, we represent po yung Arts and Science college, So, women's volleyball po yung hinanded namin. At bukod doon sa pinakamagaling na player sa isang team ng volleyball, meron pa hong ibang leader doon sa volleyball team. At yun po yung tinatawag na setter, S-P-T-E-R. So, meron po libero, meron po middle blocker, may setter, at napakahalaga po ng kanyang role sa team kasi siya po ay isa sa mga leader ng team. Siya po yung nag-organize, nag-orchestrate, siya po yung nagbibigay ng paayusan. Kung walang paayusan, may chaos na mangyayari. Kasi syempre alam naman natin na lahat gustong tumira. Di ba? Lahat gustong tumira, makakawak ng bola, pero hindi kasi ganun yung kalakaran. Kailangan meron kung parang conductor, kung sa orchestra, may maestro, may bibigay ng lead, at siya po yung making sure na every teammate is in the proper place, in the proper time, kung kailan sila kinakailangan tumilos, palit ng mga pwesto, etc. Kaya po yung center mo, napaka-critical ng kanyang role. He is or she is the organizer pag nandoon ako sa court. She or he becomes the extension of the coach once he or she sets foot doon po sa court na yun. Kaya, when we look at applying it in the church, brethren, makikita natin na magkakaroon ng paguluhan sa isang iglesia pag walang mga leaders sa church, diba? So, magiging to each his own ang mangyayari. Pinakailangan po, people must be following some people. Pinakailangan meron silang sinusunod na mga tao. Kaya ho, we can see in the next slide that though we are called to be servants, there are some people who have been given the gift of leadership role. So, lahat tayo, pinakailangan maglingkod. So, that's a given. Pero, may mga tinawag ng Diyos na ang kanilang specific na panawagan o gagampanan na role ay leadership, to lead others. And when we talk about leadership, of course, that begins with the pastor, the elder. Kung wala pang elders, may steering committee. Like in our church, they function as elders. No? They function and do the work of the office of the elders. And then, of course, we have the ministry heads. They act also as leaders. No? So, kung yung mga ministry head ay meron yung mga core, they also act as leaders. If someone handles a Bible study group or a cell group, he or she acts as a leader. Yung ating mga worship leaders dito, they are leaders in leading the church to worship the Lord through songs. And yung mga nasa children's ministry, they are handling children to a certain extent. Sila rin po ay mga leaders ng mga bata nila. So, we can see here, brethren, na may mga tao na tinawag into leadership position. And in fact, naniniwala ako na even before the Lord calls you to be a leader in His kingdom, ay bago mangyari yun, hinahanda ka na ng Panginoon Diyos. Ibig sabihin, maaaring ikaw ay hindi pa Christian o time na yun, nabibigyan ka na ng Panginoon Diyos ng certain leadership responsibilities sa school ninyo o sa company ninyo. And then, finally, nung ikaw ay nasa church na, ay bibigyan ka na ng panawagan ng Panginoon Diyos to be a leader. So somehow, nagkaroon ka rin ng experience on how to lead other people. Now, sabi ni Nick Lively in the next slide, ang kanyang comment regarding the gift of leadership. Sabi niya, the word for lead is literally the one who stands in front of. The same word is translated in reference to the church leaders in Thessalonica. Sinasabi yan, yung word na, as those who are over you. Okay? So yung word na over you, they are referring to the leaders in the church of Thessalonica. Ganun din ang sinabi sa 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 17. Ang tinutukoy naman dito ay mga elders at parehong term or Greek term ang ginamit ko yan. Na pagka sinalin sa English ay makikita natin yung salitang rule. R-U-L-E. So yun po ay tumutukoy muli sa mga elders and deacons. Sila yung nagro-rule, sila yung nagmamanage ng household ng Panginoon Diyos or the Church of Jesus Christ. So you can also check that in 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 14, also 5 and 12. Now, si Pablo ay ang kanyang paalala doon sa mga merong panawagan ng leadership. In the next slide, you can see na kailangan sila raw po ay mamuna ng merong zeal. Yung word na zeal dito ay translated as haste, diligence, or what we call earnestness. Maganda yung sinabi ng Steve Lawson. Sabi niya, as he commented on the word zeal, and I quote, whatever the speed bumps that are in front of them, that doesn't stop them. They just plow around the boulders. They don't take no for an answer. They just figure out a way. If they cannot get in the front door, they're gonna come down the chimney. If they can come down from the chimney, they're gonna come in from the back door. There is diligence. They keep on moving on. At sabi niya, the word diligence has the idea of speed, not lagging behind. So ikaw yung, nangunguna eh. Hindi ikaw yung pinangungunahan. Hindi ikaw yung sumusunod. Of course, you take suggestions and you listen to people. Pero ikaw kasi yung merong vision. Diba? Kaya you take the lead. Hindi ikaw yung naghihintay kung ano ba yung vision ng ibang tao. Of course, you need to also balance this that when it comes to church leadership, meron pong plurality of leadership. Kaya nga may mga elders. So the elder is not only the pastor, there are also people who will be called by God to be elders as well. So that the pastor together with this eldership will form a plurality of eldership for the purpose of check and balance as well. Kaya ho, mahalaga ho yung leading the people and you have the diligence or the zeal in doing that. Okay? Now, in the next slide, we can see that people with this gift are known to organize. So parang ito ho yung basic concept ng leadership, no? Mamaya we will break down kung ano yung mga personality traits ng mga tao na mayroong gift of leadership. So people with this gift are known to organize and administrate God's work. A gift of overseeing or administrating. They have the ability to motivate, inspire, organize, and direct others in the work of the kingdom. So ganun po, no? Yung kanilang panawagan, nag-organize, nag-administrate, nag-overseer sila sa gawain ng Panginoon. Of course, kasama yan yung kanilang abilidad na mag-inspire, mag-encourage, mag-motivate, yung mga kasama nila sa work nila for the work of God's kingdom. Now, take note, okay, next slide. We need to take note that leadership in the church is not largely the same as that in the business world. So, ibig sabihin, we lead and manage na hindi ho katulad ng mundo. Okay? Sabi ng Panginoon sa kanyang mga apostolo, sila ay nag-aaway-aaway kung sino dapat maging greatest sa kanila. Sabi, huwag kayong maging katulad ng mga Gentile. Sabi niya, they exercise lordship over those under them. Sabi niya. So, yung leadership is not used to lord over people. So, you do not take advantage of people. You do not manipulate them. And para mangyari ho yun, you do not just see them as as numbers or statistics. You do not use them simply as your stepping stones for your ambition. Whatever your ambition is in life. Hindi ho. Kaya ho, mahalagang makita natin na hindi ho kumpanya, hindi ho negosyo ang iglesia. Hindi ho CEO ang mga leaders ng iglesia. Hindi ho kami mga managers in a sense na business managers. Hindi ho tayo nasa human resource. We are not sourcing out anybody here at babayaran para ma-achieve natin yung gusto natin profit sa isang negosyo. Hindi mo ganun ang patakaran sa church. Hindi mo ganun. Sa corporate world ho, walang problema ron. Okay? Ganun ho talagang takbuhin doon. Pero hindi mo pwedeng nalihin yung konsepto na yan dito ho sa iglesia. Okay? Kasi sa marketing world, ang usapan niyan numero eh. Ang usapan niyan, magkano bang sales mo? Magkano bang kinita natin? Tayo ba ay kumikita? Umaakit ba yung ratings natin dito? Dati number 10 tayo, ano naman tayo ngayon? Ano naman tayo ngayon? So walang problema na kun. Because they do things to gain profit. I mean, what's the use of business kung hindi naman magiging ng profit? Pero, the church is not a marketing world. So, we primarily do not have that concept. Kaya hindi na pwede na ilan ba ang na-share mo ngayong week na ito? Isa lang. Naku, malina ka, brother. Hindi na kailangan mga 5. Wala ka pa sa kote. Magtataka ka, may mga ganun mga churches. Of course, we always want people to share the gospel to as many people as possible as we try to redeem the time, but we do not put pressure on people that they need to come up with numbers dahil merong quota. Pag hindi mo naabot yung quota na yan, hindi ka magiging self-servant, hindi ka magiging ganito sa church. So, again, pinapasok po kasi natin yung konsepto ng entrepreneurial world. At doon ho magkakaproblema pagka ang isang leader or set of leaders in a church think of them as professionals or as CEOs of companies. Hindi ho ganun ang leadership. Basahin niyo ho yung libro ni Oswald Sanders. It's a classic book entitled Spiritual Leadership. So, ituturo sa inyo doon ano ba talaga ang leadership based on the shepherding principles na tinuturo ng Bible. Because in the Bible, leaders are shepherds. Kaya nga sabi nito, shepherd the flock of God. Hindi sinabing manage the flock of God. Ang sabi, shepherd. Ano ba ang heart ng shepherd sa flock? So, if you can still find that book, di ko alam kasi kung nare-reprint pa yan, pero you can also check sa internet, baka may mga free. Kasi usually, mga matatagal na ng mga writings, they are free to be downloaded sa, from the internet. Spiritual Leadership by Oswald Sanders. Now, having said that, tignan na po natin ngayon yung personality traits. So, isahin mo natin. In the next slide, we can see the personality traits of people with this gift. So, mahalaga ho na pakinggan natin mabuti na kasi nga, I want you to assess yourself kung you possess yung mga gifts natin. O itong mga bagay, maaaring hindi lahat ito, no? Pero nakikita mo naman, marami dito, meron ka. Because that means na ikaw ay tinatawag ng Panginoon sa gift of leadership. Or kung ikaw ay leader na, kung may mga kulang ka dito, kinakailangan siguro ma-enhance mo, ma-remind ka ulit na as a leader, ito yung ginagawa mo para maging effective ka ng isang leader ng Panginoon. So, unang-una ho, those with these gifts desires to be in charge. And they are goal-oriented person. So, kung merong tao na sinasabi niya na, ay hindi, ayoko na, ako yung in charge dyan, ako yung nangunguna dyan, ako yung nasa fronta dyan, pagka gano'n ang iyong understanding o attitude, ibig sabihin, malamang, hindi ka tinawag as leader. Kasi ayaw mong ikaw yung yung magpapasimuno. Okay? But those who are leaders, sila ho, lagi silang merong goal sa kanilang isip. Ibig sabihin, meron silang mga bagay na gusto nilang ma-achieve at the end of the day. At the end of the week, at the end of the month, at the end of the year, masasagot nila yung mga tanong na what will I look like, what will my team look like, what will my group look like, what will my church look like 5 years from now or 10 years from now. Pero na po silang gano'n ang mentality. You know, they are always 3 steps ahead. This is just metaphorical. You know, like a chess player, they are 3 steps ahead from the rest of the competition. Because I'm talking about again chess. They do not compete in the chess. But yung mga leaders because they are goal-oriented. Yung mga iba, sila parang they live 1 step at a time. Pero yung leader hindi gano'n. Hindi mo siya 1 step at a time. Meron po siyang pinupuntirya. So yung kanyang pinupuntirya, from there, gagawa siya ngayon ng plano. Gagawa siya ngayon ng mga hakbang, ng mga practical steps. Ang sa gayon, ay unti-unti niyang maabot yung goal nila. Okay? So kung ganun po ang inyong mentality, ay yun po yung isang personality trait ng isang leader. Pangalawa, in the next slide, They always have a to-do list. Ayan. Hindi lang ko yung sa grocery list, ha? Pati yung bigas, pati yung patatas mo. Hindi mo yung aking binabanggit dito. We're talking here, brethren, on pagka naman yung kanilang ministry, dahil gusto nila na wala silang makakalimutan na mahalaga, they do not rely sa kanilang, memory banks, para hindi nila lagi sinasabing my bad. So they make sure na everything is listed down. Kaya yung misis ko, ganun ho, bilib ako sa misis ko. Talagang lahat, nililista ko yun. Okay? Pati utang ko, nililista mo. So, yun, talagang to do this. Ano pinakailangan gawin sa ministry, pinakailangan masabi, ma-discuss, paliwanag. So, meron pong to do list. Tapos, ilalagay mo pa yan sa kalendaryo, ano dapat mong gawin sa araw na ito, September, ano ba ngayon? September 8. Okay? So, yes, September 8. So, anong gagawin ko September 8? Yung mga iba talagang very detailed. Anong gagawin ko ng alas 8? Nilistap ko nila. Anong gagawin ko ng alas 10? Nilistap ko nila. Sinakausapin ko mga tao, nilista nila yung mga pangalan. Sa kami magkikita, nakalagay ko yan. Hanggang kailan yung meeting namin, from 9 to 10, halimbawa, nilista mo nila. They have to do this. To be organized. What else? Another personality trait, next slide, they are self-starters. So, hindi mo na sila kinakailangan i-push para magsimula ng isang project, ng isang gawain, ang kinakailangan gawin, sila ho ay pasimuno in a nice way. Self-starter po sila. Kumbaga sa sakyan, sila yung mga start, sila yung contact point ng starter. Kaya ho, hindi sila kinakailangan natin i-remind. Sila pa ay nag-remind sa mga tao. At sila ho yung magaling, na maghanap ng mga tao para sila ay magamit sa gawain ng Panginoon. Because naniniwala sila na bilang mga leader ay kaya nila na maispatan kung sino yung mga potential. At hindi sila yung naghihintay na yung mga tao ang nalapit sa kanila, kundi dahil nakikita nila na yung mga tao na kayang gawin yung trabaho. Sila mismo, they will initiate talking or approaching yung mga tao ngayon and encouraging them na, brother, sister, baka pwede kang sumama dito sa ministry na ito, pwede kang mag-assist, pwede kang tumulong, we can work together para sa gawain sa ito. Okay, what else? Next slide. They place close attention to details. So, no, ano nga ba yung kasabihan na yan? No stone unturned. Talagang all bases must be covered para sa kanila. So, hindi lang ho yung macro yung kanilang tinitingnan, kundi yung micro at kanilang binibigyan din po ng pansin. Not only do they know the details, but they all know details they want to know. They not only know where they are headed, they also know what the future might look like. Okay? So, wag mo tayo maiinis kung may mga tao ho na masyadong madetalye. Ayan. Okay? At kung tayo ho hindi madetalye at may mga taong madetalye, isipin mo natin, baka meron silang panawagan na maging mga leaders ng church. Yung talagang magbusisi sila, parang lahat ng bagay kinakailangan nasa ayos, at kinakailangan ay walang mamiss out. So, pagka ganun ho, malamang meron kang panawagan talaga. Okay, because you are paying close attention to all the details. Malikanya. Okay, next slide. You are also very resourceful. Okay, ano ba sa Tagalog yan? Yung magaling ka maghanap ng paraan. Okay? So, hindi ikaw yung tao na pagka parang you hit the end of the road, parang inisip mo, wala na, tapos na. Goodbye. Hindi nakakapag-isip ka ng paraan. You somehow create something parang out of nothing, kumbaga sa ano. Kasi hindi ka naman Diyos na creating something out of nothing. Pero, makakahanap ka ng ways. Diba? Sabi nga ng BD, we find ways. We find ways. Wala pa kang stuck sa BD. Nakakahanap ka ng paraan, and you're also able to tap other resources outside of your limited resources. Nagagawa mo yung at nagugulat na lang yung mga tao na, brother, paano ka nakagawa ng paraan? Na namamanga sila. Yung mga bagay na hindi nila naiisip, nagagawa mo siya ng paraan. At nakakatulong ka na yung trabaho na parang hindi na pwedeng may pagpatuloy, napagpapatuloy ka. Ano? Ako'y natutuwa minsan sa mga nanay o mga wives na yung pagkain na parang pwede mo na itapon. Ginagawa pa nila ng paraan. Napapasarap pa nila. Nanadagdagan nila ng mga rekado, ng mga sangkap. Tapos pagka minuto nila, ilihain nila, parang ano, parang fine dining. Special. Ano? Very resourceful. So, marami silang mga nakikita doon sa rep na pwedeng ihago doon sa otherwise pagkain na parang wala nang kakain. And those who are leaders in the kingdom of God ay nakakagawa po sila ng mga bagay na para magang it is next to impossible na gawin mo. Pero they find ways para maging posible. They are very resourceful. Ang-anim, people with these traits are very committed persons. Pag sinabi natin very committed persons, pag sinimulan nila ang isang bagay, they make sure tatapusin nila. So, hindi nila nilalaglag sa kalagitnaan. Dahil alam nila na yun ang kanilang responsibility to make sure na what we started must be accomplished. Kaya sila ho yung mga tao na you can count on them. Pag may sinabi sila na, tara, sama-sama tayo, gawin natin ito. You can bank on them na yung kanilang sinimulan, talagang pagkatsagaan nila, they will be persevering. They would not easily give up. When they would really even motivate others na, tapusin natin ito. So meron silang confidence na what they have started ay kaya nilang tapusin ito. So hindi sila yung mga tao na mingas tugon. Nasa simula, very diligent, and then at the middle of the work, yung patamarin na sila. So wala akong commitment yung mga ganun. They are not all to be leaders. Kinakailangan mo talaga namin yung resolve mo that what God has given you as your responsibility to do, you make sure na you will discharge it to the fullest and you will not stop until the work is done. Kaya ho, sila ho ay very committed people. Okay, what else? Number 7, you enjoy getting the job done as quickly as possible. So sila ho ay hindi mga procrastinators. Okay? Sa mga hindi ko nakakaalam ng being procrastinate, ibig sabihin, na laging pinagpapaliban ang mga bagay na pwede namang gawin na sana sa araw na yun. Okay? Yung mga leaders ay pagka alam nilang meron silang kailangang gawin at alam nila na yun ay priority na gawin, hindi nila isisingit yung mga hindi priority. Lagi mo, meron silang top priority at kung ano man yung top priority na project nila, na trabaho nila, na assignment nila sa ministry, they make sure na uunahin nilang gawin yun and they do it with joy, not with grudge in their hearts. At pagka sila ay natapos na sa kanilang gawain, sinasabi nila, okay, ano pa ba ang pwedeng gawin? So they do not rest on their laurels and say na, well, nagawa ko na, I deserve a 1-year break. No, hindi mo. So, they enjoy getting the job done as quickly as possible. Number 8, so medyo intertwined itong mga personality traits ng tama. They are good planners. Ayun. You know, success in any work must be done always with good planning. You know, preparation, brethren, is really something na overlook ng maraming mga tao. Success does not happen by chance or by accident. Pinagpaplanuhan mo. Okay? Ang pag-aasawa, pinagpaplanuhan. Ang mga bagay-bagay sa buhay, kinakailangan pagplanuhan. Pag ikaw ay nagbakasyon, kasama yung mga relatives, pinagpaplanuhan ko yan. Yung mga yan. At kahit mo, sa gawain ng Panginoon, lalong-lalo na, kinakailangan po may mga planning. Siya ho yung nagtatawag ng kinakailangan natin mag-meeting, mga kapatid. Kasi kinakailangan, meron pa tayong mga aayusin. Meron pa tayong hindi na pag-uusapan. Kinakailangan mag-decide tayo ng itong gagawin natin, kung bibigin ba natin ito, kung kailan natin ito gagawin, etc. Planuhin natin. Labas natin yung mga kalendary natin, tignan natin kung anong series of planning sa kinakailangan natin gawin dito. And then, in the planning, he allows others to raise their hands and give suggestions and give inputs. Kasi part ng planning yun. Yung leader ho, ang konsepto niya, it's a team effort. It's a team game. So, hindi siya solo flight. Hindi yung, ito, nakaplano na, rubber stamp na lang kayo. Okay. Hindi ganoon. He has the vision, meron siyang mga na-lay down na dyan, and then he allows feedback during the planning. And of course, suggestions are always most welcome sa kanya. And everything must be done para po maging maayos, yung magiging takbo ng anumang mga ministry or mga programa sa iglesia. They are good planners. Number 9, ito mahalaga ko. They work well with people. Marami akong mga kakilala ko, even in the past, sa corporate world, na hindi ko sila nagtagal sa kanilang posisyon bilang mga supervisor or managers. Whether sa isang restaurant, fast food chain, or sa isang sa isang kumpanya. You know why? Dahil ang reklamo sa kanila, they don't work well with people. Mahirap sila katrabaho sa Tagalog. Di ba may mga ganong tao na mahirap katrabaho? Hindi mo sila may spelling, tapos some are arrogant, some people are parang hard to please. May mga tao ko na parang they don't treat you like a human being. Parang mga slave driver sila sa madaling salita. Yung mga leaders na gano'n. And they are heavy-handed, no? Sa kanilang people who are under them. So if that is the case, then a person is not called to be a leader even in the church. Okay? Because yung po mga tao that are leading people in the church, kinakailangan po sila ho yung mga tao na when you're around them, ano ka, masaya ka na kasama mo yung leader mo. You are motivated, you are encouraged na kasama mo yung leader mo. Hindi ka nanginginig sa takot, hindi ka. Kasi hindi mo siya tinitignan na parang terror. Di ba nung araw may mga terror time teachers na tinatawag? Na pagka yun na yung subject na yun, ayaw na lang pumasok yung subject ng klase na yun. Kasi ano mo, terror. Meron kami teacher noon sa college, nung freshman ako. Talagang, super terror talaga. Pagka nagalit yun, isa-isa yung gano'n. Halimbawa, kung sinabi sa'yo na, kasi nag-college ako, nung freshman ako, ang gamit ko, bag yung attache case, ninala ko sa tatay ko, buhay ka naman yung tatay ko ng tayo. Pero, pinahirap ko sa akin. Kaya yung attache case, nasa gilid ng sila ko, minsan nakatabig ko. So pagka bumabaksak yung attache case, talagang buong corridor ng college na nagagamit yung teacher namin, sinasabi nila, Bulusan, the next time na yung attache case na yan, bumaksak na naman, I will throw that doon sa window, and I will make sure na kasama ka. Ganyan yan. Ano ba ang pinito mo? Sabi mo, anong pinito mo? Bulusan ka. Sige. Pagka nabaksak na naman yung tatigis na yan, yung bulusan kita na yun, umukulong tubig. Ganyan ba yan? Yung katabi ko naman, ang pinito niya, buwate. Kasi alphabetical. Buwate. Eh, minsan, nakita niya, yung natutulog. Natutulog siya. Sabi ng teacher namin, Miss Bote, the next time makita kita na nakatigil, ang gagawin ko sa'yo, isisilid kita sa bote. Lalagyan ko ng seal yung bote. At habang buhay ka naman yun. Siya ko yung nasa kanong ko. Yung nasa kaliwa ko naman, ang pinito, Buhani. At minsan, hindi gumawa na assignment. Miss Buhani, bakit wala akong assignment? Kasi po, ma'am, nakatulog po ako eh. Bakit ka nakatulog? Kasi po, ma'am, pagod ho ako. Bakit ka pagod? Kasi ma'am, mag-traffic, alayo na ng bahay ko namin. Eh, bungi siya. Bakit ka bungi? Sabi ng teacher. Sino makakagusto sa'yo? Siguro yan na, si Mr. Bulusan. Ganun siya. Ano? Kaya ayaw mong pumasok sa kanyang So, she is a teacher but she does not work well. Wala siyang magandang relationship sa kanyang mga estudyante. Although, pagka nasa labas naman ng klase, just to be fair, yung sa teacher na yun, which also was the assistant dean ng college na yun. Also be fair with her. Pagka naman muna sa labas ng klase, mabait ko siya. Nag-iibang anyo naman siya. Pero pag nasa loob ng klase, talagang extreme talaga siya. So, there are some people na talagang it's really hard to work with them. And I believe they are not called to be leaders. Number 10, they know what to prioritize and not try to do everything. Kaya hindi ako naniniwala sa sinasabi, you have to be balanced. Sa Bible ho, wala akong tinuturo dapat balanse ka sa buhay. Sa Bible ang tinuturo, priority. Matthew 6:33, seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness. And all these things shall be added unto you. Hindi pwedeng balance na lang, I have to do this and do that and do those things. You cannot be a jack of all trades and a master of none. Ulitin ko, you cannot be a jack of all trades and a master of none. Dapat alam mo anong panawagan mo sa buhay. Ano ang calling mo. You stick with that. Do your best. Put your time. Invest your time sa panawagan na yan. Let others do kung ano yung panawagan nila sa kanila. And you work together in harmony for a greater good, for the greater good of the gospel of Christ. Don't try to do everything. Identify saan ang pwesto mo sa katawan ni Kristo. Ano ang gifting mo? Doon ka. Dahil pagka yung mga ibang bagay ay sinubsub ang sarili mo ron, ma-apektuhan din. This will affect them. Yun. So halimbawa po sa Acts chapter 6, nagkakaproblema sa distribution ng mga pagkain para sa mga widows. So marami nagre-reklamo sa mga apostles. So anong gagawin ng mga apostles? Will they also divide their time para maging balansa sila? But they will also give or allot time in doing the logistics and distributing food sa mga kailangan ng widows. Hindi po dahil sa minamaliit nila yung trabaho nila. Pero alam kasi nila ang panawagan nila, as they clearly stated, is that we will devote ourselves to the ministry of the word and prayer. Kaya ginawa nila, they appointed people na alam nilang mayroong spiritual gift at mayroong character to do the job. So yung mga deacons na pinatawag. Pinili 7 deacons na kanilang pinatawag. Because they know what to prioritize. A leader knows what to prioritize. And then he would not try to do everything just to please people. Kaya alam niya how to say no. Hindi lahat ng invitasyon, he would say yes. To the point na masacrifice na ho yung kanyang panawagan. He can say na, salamat sa invitasyon, pero I really need to change something this week. Ito po yung aking kinakailangan i-prioritize. But however, you can still extend an invitation to me after let's say 2 weeks, tapos ko na ito, then that would be much appreciated. So never sacrifice kung ano mo yung mga priority. Unless of course it is a life and death situation. Halimbawa, kinakailangan mong gawin ito dahil priority mo, ay meron na magpapakamatay. Hindi ng counseling sa'yo. Sorry sister, kasi meron akong priority. Huwag ka muna magpakamatay, ha? Hintayin mo ako next week. Hindi ko pwede yun naman. Again, it is a face-to-face basis, pero the rule of thumb is leaders know what to prioritize and they do not try to do everything. Now, of course, minsan, napipilitan po ang ibang leaders to also do other tasks. Kasi wala naman po nagbo-volunteer. Wala naman po nagpo-commit sa ibang mga members ng church. No? We're talking about the general church, hindi lang po sa BSC. No? Kaya minsan, nag-overlapping na yung mga roles ng isang leader. This is of course commendable on this part, pero hindi mo siya ideal sa church life. And later on, in the long run, pwede rin mag-suffer ng what we call burnout, spiritual burnout, ang isang leader. Kasi nga, Yun po, problema na na yung oras mo niya talaga. It is actually sometimes becoming a race against time. Pag marami ka na masyadong ginagawa, ang kalaban mo dyan oras. And no one wins when he races against time. Time always wins. Hindi mo na pwedeng ibalik ang oras, hindi mo na pwedeng dagdagan ang oras. Kaya you must know what to prioritize. Now, when we look at one example from a great leader and a great organizer, we can see the example, of course, of Jesus Christ. In the next slide, we can see the example of Christ in the book of Mark, chapter 6. Simula sa verse 37 in family. Ito ho yung feeding of thousands of people, 5,000. Sabi niya, but he answered them, you give them something to eat. And they said to him, shall we go and buy 200 denarii worth of bread and give it to them to eat? And he said to them, how many loaves do you have? Go and see. And when they had found it, they said, 5 and 2 fish. Then he commanded them all to sit down in groups on the green grass. So they sat down in groups by hundreds and by 50s. Now before we continue reading in the next slide, we can see here, brethren, na of course the miracle will happen, whether they follow or not. So yung miracle ho, talagang mangyayari na po yun. Pero meron mo rito ginawang very interesting ang Panginoon Diyos. Inutos sa kanila. At ano yung inutos sa kanila? Ang sinabi riyan ay verse 39, utusan mo ang mga tao na umupo by groups. Okay? So, ano ho yung sistema na ginawa nila? So, pinaupo yung mga tao by groups, by hundreds and by 50s. So, meron hong organization na ginawa ang Panginoon. Hindi na sinabi na, okay, ready na yung mga pagkain, attack! Hindi mo gano'n. Meron hong kaayusan na pinagawa ang Panginoon. Magsiupo, patingin yung crowd by the hundreds and by the 50s. Kayo ang mag-distribute ng mga sana. Hindi yung sila na ang pupukat dito. Di ba, magulo mo yun? Di ba, libo-libo mga tao. Nangyayari yan, di ba, sa mga pagbibigyan ng mga ayuda, at mga sistema, di ba? Magulo ng mga tao. So, ang nangyari mo yung next slide, and taking the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, he looked up to heaven and said a blessing and broke the loaves and gave them to the disciples to set before the people. And he divided the 2 fish among them. And they all ate and were satisfied, and they took up 12 baskets full of broken pieces and of the fish, and those who ate the loaves were 5,000 men. So ano pa yan, no? Hindi pa kasama yung women and the children. So it can even go up to 10,000 or more people na kinakain ng Panginoon. But Christ as the leader, the organizer, to make sure na everything would go well, walang maagrabyado, walang hindi magbibigyan,